Hello, I'm Tom Reed, the Republican co-chair of the Problem Solvers Caucus.
I'm Josh Gottheimer, the Democratic co-chair of the Problem Solvers Caucus.
We wanted to take a moment, just having heard the President give the State of the Union, to kind of give our thoughts as to how we can move forward. And I got to tell you, the Problem Solvers Caucus is a group of members, 24 strong on each side of the aisle, that are demonstrating we can get together as Democrats and Republicans to solve the problems that face the American people.
And Tom and I, we sat together tonight, but really for the last year we've been working very closely together with the Problem Solvers Caucus to find areas where we can actually get to yes and agree and find that common ground versus showing up just to scream or yell and find areas where we disagree. You know, it's not always easy, but actually if you sit down and work together and are willing to be open-minded, you can do what the American public wants you to do, and I know what my constituents want, which is to come here and find areas where we can get things done and move forward.
Yeah, that's why when I heard the speech tonight, and I heard the President extend the branch to the other side of the aisle, I wanted to just stand up and say to him, you know, there's a group of us already here, working together, having real conversations with each other, respecting each other's point of view. For the last year, we have been spending hours, months, working on policy issues like health care, like immigration, like infrastructure, coming together as a group of American citizens first and foremost. Yes, we're proud Democrats, we're proud Republicans, but at the end of the day, we know that we can get to 80% solutions in regards to finding that 80% of the loaf. That is not a defeat. That's a victory for the American people, and that's where we have developed that new culture of trust that I think is so important going forward.
Yeah, and what you realize when you spend time together, just like if you do at work or at home, that if you sit at the table and actually talk things through, and that's what we often do late at night, we literally just sit around the table, members, and saying, okay, how do we find, where do we find that common ground? How do we find a solution? As Tom said, whether it's on getting premiums down in your health care or making sure we can find a fix in DACA and border security or figuring out if we can find a way forward on the budget. And now infrastructure, of course, which was talked about quite a bit tonight, which I know has got a lot of bipartisan support. The whole idea is where is that space we can work on together? And when you sit in that room and get to know each other and build that trust, that's actually what I believe governing is all about. And that's what we are going to continue to work incredibly hard on in the months ahead. And I'm very glad that the President now has said that he wants to be part of that, and that's the solution.
And that's exactly it. It's creating that new culture in Washington that we've been able to do for the last year in regards to create a room where you can come together as American citizens and shed the extremism that so many people in Washington, D.C. bring to the table. It's almost as if they're governed by the extremes on the left and the right. And at the end of the day, when you go into your extreme camps, nobody wins in that. And that's what we've been able to show over the last year. When you actually get together, respect each other, and have a trusting relationship, that's why tonight's speech, I think, was a great step in the right direction for the future of the country by bringing people together. And that's where we've been doing. Josh and I have become not only colleagues, but truly become friends.
Yes.
And I will tell you, that is the type of relationship.
I'm wearing his red tie tonight. He's wearing the blue one.
Well, as a proud New Yorker and a guy from New Jersey, to become friends, if we can do it, then anybody in America can do it.
That's pretty good. You know, I was talking, I had two guests tonight, the Drakes from New Jersey, and they lost their son to I think I told you this, to a lone wolf terrorist in New York City over Halloween. And when I look at them and I talk to them, you realize that the most important thing that we all share is being American. And that transcends every partisan, every partisan bone. It's all about actually finding that solution and realizing that we do live in the greatest country in the world, the best people protecting us at home and abroad, and we're very lucky. And tonight reminded me of just how special our democracy is.
And when you hear the story of the Drakes, and like my guest today was Tiffany Folk, who lost her son to suicide, and it puts it in perspective. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and most people, 99.9% of them, are good people. That's the guy I know in Josh, and I hope he knows in me.
Yes.
And working together, keeping things in perspective. The people that are going to win at the end of the day, as we heard tonight, are the American people. And that's where working together gets it done.
That's right. So let's all ignore the loud voices on the extreme, figure out where that area is in the middle where we can agree and do what's best and get things done for our country and obviously for all of you. And so I know Tom and I, as friends and as colleagues with the rest of the Problem Solvers Caucus, really look forward to continuing our work with the President and anybody else who will sit at that table in the months ahead.
Doors always open. Thanks so much.
Thank you.